Joining me now is Heidi Przybyla. I'm sure you know her well from her time here at NBC News. She's a veteran Washington journalist and the reporter behind that Politico report about the GOP's plan to install poll workers at voting precincts this November. Heidi, good to see you, my old friend. Thank you for this great reporting. It's alarming insofar as the GOP at the state level in Michigan, but elsewhere, has institutionalized this effort to undermine voting through these various mechanisms. They're looking for a solution to a problem that doesn't exist.
Yeah, Ellie, I consulted a number of election law experts on this, and they all say it's unprecedented because what you have here is not just a political party recruiting the folks who are supposed to be the nonpartisan election experts who administer our elections, but also training them, setting up workshops and specifically how to contest votes and equipping them with the tools to do so, including a hotline that would connect them while they're in those halls with roving party attorneys, as well as a website, Allie, because it's not always possible to use a cell phone when you're inside an election administration center. And the important part about this also, Allie, is that in all of the hours of tapes that I listened to, I heard to a person, all of these individuals talking about how there was fraud in the 2020 election and that the intent here is to stop that fraud from happening again. And some of the folks that they are aligned with or the places where they're recruiting these folks are really the hardcore MAGA folks who really believe that fraud occurred. And they are primarily targeting, Allie, Democratic minority precincts. So what you're going to see here visually is a lot of white folks from the suburbs coming in and trying to administer, or actually having these official positions administering elections in these heavily minority districts where we already saw, for instance, in Detroit in 2020, that was really one of the hot spots where there was a lot of election challengers who were on the outside trying to cause chaos. This time, it could potentially be on the inside, Ellie.
So here, the issue here is that what a lot of people think they saw in the 2020 election and in the January 6th stuff was a national and statewide strategy to subvert the election. But what you're reporting on, and it is uniquely important in a place like Michigan, but also in Wisconsin and Arizona and Georgia and Pennsylvania, is this precinct level strategy. It's not just about state level voting ID changes and mail-in ballots. It's precinct level stuff. Tell me why that is important for our viewers to understand.
This is an entire architecture. Steve Bannon has been talking about this for months on his podcast, that he wants MAGA loyalists to become the worker bees of the election system, right? So what you would have here is this happening in a number of states, battleground states. And based on my reporting in Michigan, I can only speak for what is happening in Michigan. There was also talk of creating a nationwide district attorney network of friendly district attorneys who then could be contacted and pulled into this, as well, Ellie, as law enforcement. Now, one of the most recent reportings that I heard was from this month of a former state senator in Michigan who participated in one of these summits, talking about how law enforcement just doesn't understand, because last time they kicked us out when we were trying to contest votes in Detroit. And this time we're reaching out proactively in advance so we can educate law enforcement about what voter fraud is. Of course, I never heard in these tapes, Allie, anyone talk about the fact that there had been over 250 audits in the state of Michigan, as well as a comprehensive report by the Republican-led Senate committee, oversight committee, that found there was no evidence of widespread fraud. And in fact, the individuals who propagated that should be investigated for trying to further their own political interests.
Yeah, Michigan had a uniquely safe election, and a Secretary of State who takes election safety and integrity, even though that's become a weird buzzword, very, very seriously. Heidi, great to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us this morning. Heidi Przybyla.